Tonight on Canyons News, we take a look at the college's Board of Trustees investigation of district funds. Then we sit down with the COC professor to unpack the election results. And we take a look at the latest active E. coli outbreak affecting produce. Canyons News starts now.
Live from Mentry Hall on the campus of College of the Canyons.
Came together to shed light on a deadly epidemic.
With news from across the Santa Clarita Valley.
And senseless tragedy.
Reporting live for Canyons News.
On 10 camera 5.
This is Canyons News.
Hello everyone and welcome to Canyons News. I'm Julianne Lena and here's the latest from the Canyons newsroom. Earlier this year, former College of the Canyons Chancellor Diane Van Hook was placed on administrative leave after 36 years of service. Van Hook announced her retirement soon after. Since then, Van Hook has filed a lawsuit alleging wrongful termination by the Board of Trustees. Dr. David Andrus, a former political science professor at COC, is currently serving as the interim president. At the beginning of the fall semester, Dr. Andrus launched an investigation into facilities funding. Reporter Terry Collier joins us live from Mentry Hall with the latest on a meeting recently held by the college's board.
Thank you, Julianne. As you mentioned, the board held a special meeting to address the findings of an internal audit. I was there at the meeting to find out more about the investigation and interview some of the attendees. The College of the Canyons Board of Trustees held a special meeting last week after a closed session. The special meeting was called to present findings of an internal audit that was found to have showed evidence of violations, negligence, and misappropriation of college funds. The audit, ordered by Interim Superintendent President David Andrus, was conducted by a specialized legal team.
45 years of experience, exclusively representing just about every, if not every, community college throughout the state through facilities, contracts, procurement, and so forth.
The legal team's investigation was to evaluate whether vendor contracts were awarded legally and within a scope appropriate for the district.
We saw contracts just being given to selected contractors. We saw a lot of contracts that coincidentally never reached a threshold above the $25,000 amount, which allowed requirements for bidding, bonding, insurance not to be met.
Council noted that some of the work ordered should have been completed by district maintenance staff, such as removing objects from a sandbox, relocating benches, gum and pine needle removals, and painting custodial closets. These projects were paid out to third-party contractors for millions of dollars by bid splitting, with no proof that some of these projects were ever completed.
We're talking about in excess of 700 projects amounting to almost $8 million. In the many, many years that we have been representing districts, we have never seen anything like this. The level of conduct here, I think, is nothing short of egregious.
Council discovered that over the course of nearly 2 decades, contracts were being awarded to the same person, but with different business names.
We found that district funds through a variety of sources have been misused, misappropriated, and potentially used for personal benefit.
An incoming board member expressed his thoughts.
Yeah, I guess when you hear that information, it all is surprising, but before I jump to a conclusion, let's see it.
As well as the president of the COC's Teachers Union.
Kind of always, I don't know how to say this, but I don't know, you always had a suspicion of things happening.
Council has urged the district to engage a forensic accounting firm for further investigation. The vote was unanimous.
Thank you. The ayes have it and motion carries.
The board withheld any formal statement about the investigation.
I can only comment on things later when the investigations and final findings come out. I can say that I look forward to what the district will do to take action once findings are fully conclusive.
Motion to approve.
Madam President, I move approval of this.
We'll continue to keep an eye on developments as the investigation continues. This is Terry Mitchell Collier with Canyons News, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Terry. As the holiday season is in full swing, a growing health hazard has been making headlines. A rise in E. coli outbreaks linked to organic foods are causing growing concerns. Canyons News reporter Meg Hall dives into more and shares what you should know to keep your holiday table safe.
Recent E. coli breakouts have been linked to an array of produce across the nation, including organic bagged carrots. The major supplier that produced carrots linked to the bacteria, Grimway Farms, announced a recall for their products. And as of November 16th, big-name grocery stores such as Target and Trader Joe's have cleared their shelves of Grimway's organic carrots. According to the CDC, there have been at least 15 hospitalizations nationwide and one death that was located in LA County due to E. coli infections.
Particularly the E. coli that we see in food, it has the ability to produce certain toxins at times which can be harmful to the body and can cause symptoms like diarrhea, bloody diarrhea, can even lead to hospitalization and dehydration.
And with the holidays around the corner, Dr. Rice says that the risk of infection only goes up.
Particularly, we see that, at least historically speaking, around the holidays, around Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's when we see more of these outbreaks come because everyone's congregating and they're easily spread in that regard. Especially in these holiday settings when people are cooking a lot, it's very easy to cross-contaminate because you're in a hurry.
Preparing family feasts is one of the most important activities during the holidays. But with the threat of foodborne illnesses on the rise, what are some extra steps that can be taken to reduce the risk of contamination?
So the best thing to do, honestly, is hygiene, making sure the kitchen place is clean, making sure that everyone else is doing their part to wash their hands, honestly, is the best way for guests. But if you're doing cooking, essentially it's going to be keeping that area clean.
As of most recently, Grimway Farms now claims that all affected products are no longer in stores. Officials stated that consumers should feel confident that the carrots on shelves today are safe and that the investigation towards the cause remains. This Thanksgiving, following safe food handling practices and proper hygiene will not only reduce the risk of contamination, but ensure a happy and healthy holiday season. For Canyons News, I'm Meg Hall.
A federal judge has granted the dismissal of the January 6 election interference case of President-elect Donald Trump, shortly after federal prosecutors motioned to dismiss. Special counsel Jack Smith requested the case to be dismissed only a day after Trump was declared president-elect. Judge Tanya Chutkan of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia dismissed the case without prejudice. Now President-elect Trump will take the presidency in 2025. Joining us now is Phil Gusson and Eli Kern to discuss Trump's victory and its impact.
Thank you, Julianne, and thank you, Phil, for joining us tonight for this special Canyons News Live interview. I wanted to start by getting into this idea that we've spoken about before about noise versus signal and how that relates to this recent presidential election.
Okay, so one of the things that political scientists try and do is sort of look at what's happened in the past and try and use that to understand what's going to happen in the future. In this election, there were so many things that seemed completely unique and anomalous. You had a president who was, there were 2 attempted assassinations, convicted in court, 4 other cases that were pending, waiting to be sentenced. On the Democratic side, you had a President Biden with a debacle of a debate, deciding to step down, Kamala Harris getting the nomination, running a 107-day campaign. It looked like everything was new. Like there was nothing that we could look in the past and find anything similar to predict what was going to happen in the future. That's what I'm calling the noise. The signal are the patterns that we've seen over and over again in presidential elections. And the main one is that when it comes to the economy, rightly or wrongly, people tend to blame the president when the economy is doing poorly, and they blame the president's party, and they hold them accountable for it. That when you get rid of all of the noise and you look at the election results, it looks like many of our other elections. The noise you get rid of, then you can hear the signal.
So I'm curious, from both parties' perspectives in future presidential elections going forward, do you think that this is something that either side will kind of learn a bit of a lesson from and refocus their messaging on something a little more economic and a more grounded message that reaches your working class Americans? Or are we kind of stuck in this perpetual loop of these cultural issues becoming the big talking points every election cycle, and then election day comes and the economy ends up telling us all that we needed to know?
Right. So if past is prologue, and because I've been trying to think about the signal rather than noise and the past patterns that we've seen, when you see a party that wins the White House and Congress, they tend to assume that they have a mandate, and the incoming Trump administration is speaking as if they have a mandate. Well, this was actually a really close election. You know, slightly less than 50% voted for Donald Trump, a little bit more than 48% voted for Kamala Harris. We're a very divided nation, but I think Republicans are going to assume that they have a mandate to do what they want to do, and they're going to swing for the fences. They're going to try and do as much as possible. Again, if past is prologue, what's going to happen is people are going to be bothered by that. And what we may see in the House elections in 2 years is the Democrats coming back into power, and we've seen that pattern over and over again. So do I think people are going to learn the lessons to pay attention to the signal? My guess would be no. Again, past being prologue.
Absolutely. I guess finally, looking ahead now, as you were kind of touching on there, we're in another situation where we're going to have a sitting president who has the same House as their Congress, which, as we've seen historically, can kind of open up an opportunity for these presidents. We've seen it in the past, going back to George Bush with the Patriot Act, a little bit more recently with Obama and Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. These are times where presidents decide to maybe swing for the fences a bit more with their policy. Is that a trend that you expect to see continue with Trump's second term?
100%. I think that's exactly what they'll do. And again, this is because this is what's happened in the past. And there are a lot of economists who predict that if you do mass deportations and impose tariffs, as President-elect Trump has talked about, that will have inflationary impact. Either way, if people are paying more for eggs and gas and things like that, they will blame the president's party and they will blame the president themselves. And in the next election, as often happens in American politics, the pendulum will swing back. And so it's probably what everybody should learn from this election and what they will learn from this election are probably two entirely different things.
Absolutely. Well, Phil, I just wanted to thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I truly appreciate you sharing some of your time with us. And I want to thank our audience for joining myself and Phil in our conversation. Let's throw it back to Julianne in the studio.
Thanks, Eli. Saugus residents recently took an opportunity to go out and help city workers clean up the area where they live. Xander Grable brings us more.
Along Bouquet Canyon Road from Sago Canyon to Alamogordo, Santa Clarita volunteers were tasked with cleaning up the sidewalk and adding mulch in a program called the Saugus Community Beautification Day. Residents from different age groups and ethnic backgrounds were given the opportunity to come together and give back to their community.
Today we had volunteers as young as 7 and up who wanted to come. Really, it's so wonderful that we live in a community where people want to be part of a change. I think especially now they just want to be out in the community.
Not only did community members give back to make the area around them more pleasant, they were also helping the trees around them survive the record heat wave that California has seen the past few summers.
The importance of that is that we have mulch that becomes a blanket during the winter time, and then during the summertime it helps retain moisture for the plants that we have out there.
Ivan Gergis, a Saugus resident, noted that the beautification day left him feeling good about himself and the area that he lives in.
For a while it's just been kind of just dirt and so we're adding mulch today. I don't know if there's anything else that they're going to add later on, but hey, it's a good day out. Not exactly sunny, but it's a nice day, and just enjoying ourselves out here this morning.
While it may have been his first time volunteering for the city, Ivan managed to make new friends who lived in his community.
I think it's a great way to kind of just get together, get to know new people, and work together to make the community look better. So
not only was Bouquet Canyon the center of attention for this event, but there was also a separate group picking up trash along the riverbed.
Volunteers met us at Central Park, but some of them actually also went out behind the Chi-Chi's parking lot to go into the Santa Clara riverbed and pick up trash. So there was a multi-layer component to this event.
During the season of giving and togetherness, it's important to be thankful for your surroundings and to help give back to the community. Xander Grable, reporting for Canyons News.
After months of development, the Bouquet Canyon Tree on Saugus is finally open to the public following a ribbon-cutting ceremony hosted by the city of Santa Clarita. The ceremony featured members of the Santa Clarita Valley Bicycle Coalition, who eagerly became the first ones to ride the new trail. Santa Clarita Mayor Cameron Smythe was joined by City Council colleagues and was awarded a scroll on behalf of LA County's 5th District Supervisor, Catherine Barger. The 5th District Supervisor's field representative, Isabel Uralian, praised the city of Santa Clarita before presenting the award.
But it also is unique because it has these more rural areas, these extensive trails that make it so unique and so popular, and really the reason it gets so many visitors. We get so many people that come here just for the great trails, people from the rest of LA County, so it's very unique, and I'm very happy to see this trail finally opening. I know it's been a lot of hard work, so I just want to say congratulations on behalf of the supervisor and present this scroll to you all. Do you want to have?
An alarming crisis continues to take a grip on communities as fentanyl overdoses soar across the country. Canyons News reporter Alessandra Vera sat down with the family of a victim of a fentanyl poisoning.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yay. Happy birthday.
That's my favorite memory of Daniel, the day he was born. I miss him so much. He took a part of my soul when he died, you know that? I don't feel complete anymore.
The deadly grip of fentanyl, a powerful drug that continues to claim lives across the country. A local father shares his experience of losing his 16-year-old son to illicit fentanyl in April 2020.
I found him unconscious, face up on his bed, and his lips were blue and his fingernails were blue, and I knew that something was horribly and terribly wrong.
Synthetic painkillers like fentanyl are up to 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times more powerful than morphine.
They disconnected all the life support from him, and his mother got in bed with him, and she was stroking his hair, and I grabbed his right hand, and he took his very last breath at 5:08 of the afternoon of April the 6th of 2020. And my only son passed away.
Kids experiment with drugs. We all know that. But the drugs today, if they're experimenting with drugs, they're putting their life at jeopardy every freaking time they do that. First of all, there is no real drugs on the streets right now. If a kid goes online and he hits Snapchat, for instance, and he wants to buy, let's say, Xanax or Adderall or cocaine, whatever, it's going to be fake. There are no real pills. Doctors don't write them anymore.
I came back that first night on April the 1st, and I found half a pill on top of his dresser.
The MAID analysis say that Daniel consumed a fake pill made of fentanyl binder and filler, thinking he was consuming a blue M3 oxycodone pill. As Puerta continues to grieve, his ongoing mission is to spread education and awareness on the danger of unexpected deaths linked to illicit use of drugs. For Canyons News, I'm Lisandra Vera.
Coming up next on Canyons News, we get an inside look at how a Korean restaurant is more than food, but a cultural immersion. And Cougar football went bowling. We found out how the football team ended its 2024 season on a high note. Meg Hall will have more after the break. Stay tuned.
College of the Canyons creates possibilities.
It's a gateway to opportunities.
A place where students learn they can believe in themselves.
Behind every possibility at College of the Canyons are the people.
Together we focus on achieving success, one student at a time.
That focus is a reflection of what we value.
It defines who we are.
We are. We are.
We are College of the Canyons.
Welcome back to Canyons News. I'm Meg Hall. Earlier this month, the city of Santa Clarita brought New Hall to life. The Light Up Main Street event brought in vendors that lined the streets. The community got to see performances from local elementary schools and performers. The city took the time to bring the community together for the start of the holidays.
And I think to the residents, it's a kickoff to the holiday season. It's the perfect way to welcome in the lights and welcome in the fun and the festivities and really make memories with their family. And we are very appreciative that we get to be a part of that.
Thanksgiving is coming around the corner. With the many festivities happening in SCV, One of them brings the community together. Canyons News reporter Christopher Casey shows us what people enjoy about the New Hall Thanksgiving Community Dinner.
With the holiday season blowing its way into the Santa Clarita Valley, and with multiple festivities coming along with it, events such as the Thanksgiving Community Dinner has blown into town. The city of Santa Clarita has held the event for over 20 years, starting from the New Hall Community Center and spanning it to the Canyon Country Community Center. But what makes this event important to residents and families of SCV?
I think it's great. Well, I'm just enjoying, I don't get to see my daughter's running around helping everybody, so, you know, I'm doing my thing and she's doing hers, and we met somebody new, and so I love it.
Parkway Motorcars, a dealership in Santa Clarita, has been the sponsor for the dinner. For them, it's their way on giving back to the community.
Parkway's decided to do this dinner with the city of Santa Clarita because since they opened, they've always been part of the community. They want to show the community that they're here for supporting them, to be an integral part of the community, let them know that we care.
The community dinner was filled with many residents, even some helping during the event.
It's a community effort. We have volunteers, we have city staff, we have the city council that come and serve. So we're always looking for opportunities to grow, but I think people love it the way it is, love the opportunity to come and enjoy a nice meal.
For Canyons News, my name is Christopher Casey.
Thanksgiving is a time for gratitude and gathering, but for some students, it can also bring added challenges. That's where the bank steps in, a resource not just for everyday essentials, but for making the holidays a little brighter. Let's take a closer look at how the Basic Needs Center is helping students stay supported this season.
They say when one door closes, another opens. But what happens when the whole campus is closed? For many students, the bank is that open door, ensuring no one goes hungry even when COC is operating as usual. The bank is a vital resource for the College of the Canyon students, offering free groceries, hygiene products, and essential support to ensure no one has to choose between their education and basic needs. During Thanksgiving, they go even further by providing special assistance, such as meals and resources, to help students celebrate the holidays without added stress.
Next week, we're giving out 150 Thanksgiving meals already prepackaged, foods that they can make at home, and it's for family size 3 or 6, so they should have enough food to last them the couple of days we're closed.
This year marks Sarah Cox's 3rd year as director of the Basic Needs Center. With a background as a mental health therapist in Antelope Valley, her goal here is to create a space of hope and support, helping students realize their full potential both in school and during breaks. Even when the campus is closed, the bank steps up by preparing meals, offering transportation assistance, and sharing information about local food banks and other resources. It's all part of their mission to ensure students have access to the support they need, no matter the circumstances.
And I've always wanted to help now, especially people, but students see what their potential is, let them see that there is hope, find the resources, connect them, and let them understand that there is somebody there that cares for them and is rooting for them and invested in them. And I think that this position here enables me to do that.
This unwavering commitment reflects Cox's vision for the Basic Needs Center, a place where students feel supported and empowered to thrive. The bank continues to offer these resources through their website, including information on our local food banks, meal programs, and other essential services, ensuring students have access to the help they need, no matter the time of the year. For Canyons News, I'm Maya Paragas.
A new restaurant is bringing more than just flavor to the table. Behind the kitchen doors, there's a deeper story. A story of a father who's blending his roots with his new community. Natalie Merchant has more.
That's the typical.
Then let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For most, food is just a meal. But for Ken Park, it's a connection, a way to bring people together. Ken recently opened Bonchon in Santa Clarita, a city far from where his journey first began.
I grew up in the Bay Area. I'm in a family of all entrepreneurs, so I always knew that I wanted to do my own thing.
Ken's childhood in San Francisco shaped his love for Korean cuisine. But his journey to Santa Clarita wasn't about food. It was about family.
I always knew that I wanted to move out here to raise a family, so my wife and I decided to move out here just a couple years ago to raise our 2 beautiful daughters.
In Santa Clarita, where Korean food options are limited, Ken saw an opportunity to share his culture. It's a way to introduce people to flavors and traditions from across the Pacific.
The area does have a variety of different food options, but I don't see that Korean offering. But today, let's Samantha, cashier.
For Samantha Bird, a high school student who works at Bonchon, the restaurant isn't just a job, it's a connection to her heritage. As she's half Korean, she says it helps embrace her Korean roots in a way she hadn't before.
As someone that is half Korean and half white, I just think it's really cool to be able to work here because I haven't really gotten a lot of opportunities to connect with my Korean culture. And especially living somewhere like Santa Clarita, I just don't think there's a lot of ways for me to typically be able to do that, so I just feel really lucky to be able to work here.
While Ken is proud of Bonchon's success, his biggest pride is seeing his children embrace their heritage.
You know, my daughters could be proud that their Korean heritage is represented.
Ken's story is a reminder that food can be more than just nourishment. It's a cultural exchange and a way to connect families. This has been Natalie Merchant reporting.
A campus program aimed to help Latino students in STEM launched last week. Canyons News reporter Andrew Fabella has more details on what the program hopes to accomplish.
Thank you so much for being here.
A new program is shining bright on campus just like the sun. Project Soul. The official program launch party was held this past Thursday in the Intercultural Center with students, campus community, and those interested in the program attending.
Project Sol, Sol meaning sun in Spanish, and an acronym that stands for STEM Opportunities for Latinos, Latinas, and Latinx students, is a new initiative that promotes the exploration, the engagement, and the commitment, and ultimately the completion of Latino students pursuing programs and careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
The launch party hosted clubs and organizations on campus, along with food and a live DJ to bring the setting to life.
Yay! I'm so happy y'all are here.
Mireya Milian, the organizer of Project Soul, created the program to give Latino students interested in STEM the lifeline they need to succeed in their educational and professional careers.
Because we believe that through being a STEM student really requires a village.
Mireya says historically, Latino students have been disproportionately affected and even barred from STEM opportunities and careers in the past, which is something that resonates with Mireya. But this time, however, it will be different, with more opportunities for Latino students unlike ever before.
Students can benefit from dedicated STEM counseling appointments, professional development guidance, and a community that will support their aspirations.
Mireya also says that having a program like this on campus is beneficial for the future of STEM careers and opportunities for Latino students, or for those who are looking to be a part of the program in the future.
We want to make sure that they have the upward mobility that they want and they desire and they deserve for themselves and their communities.
Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Andrew Fabella.
Learning about ancient cultures doesn't just have to be done in the classroom. Here at College of the Canyons, students stepped into the shoes of early humans through a unique hands-on experience. Canyons News reporter Julianne Lena has more on the story.
You throw it sort of like you would imagine, with some follow through to see how far you can throw.
At College of the Canyons, history is more than something you study. It's something you experience. The Anther Survivor Contest is challenging students to step back in time. And guiding them through this prehistoric adventure is Dr. Meredith, a professor whose hands-on approach is making anthropology unforgettable.
So my middle finger stays down, my ring finger stays down, my pinky is down, and I'm just holding it between my index finger and my thumb.
From shaping stone tools to perfecting ancient hunting techniques, students are learning survival skills our ancestors relied on thousands of years ago.
When I was making the stone tools myself, I was like, oh my God, this is really a lot harder than I thought. And I appreciated a lot more what early hominins were doing than I had previously. So I figured that students might have the same experience that I did, and they would really appreciate early technologies a lot more than they do when they're just learning about them from a book.
With the guidance of Dr. Meredith, the Anther Survivor Contest offers a unique way to connect with history. Not just by reading about it, but by experiencing it firsthand.
really want students to be excited about anthropology. So if we can do fun things that hook people and get them to continue to take our classes, that's kind of the goal. And pretty much everybody who participates in this activity ends up having a really good time. And that's the main goal, is for students to be able to have fun while they're also learning to appreciate some of the content in our classes.
Follow through and then
Like you're really throwing.
Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Julianne Lena.
A collaboration between a College of the Canyons professor and the media department will soon come to life. Reporter Vic Suarez has more on the developing project.
The Valley is an 8-episode-long miniseries that focuses on the 19-year-old Latinx student Free, a freshman in college who attempts to establish his independence and find self-worth through the most challenging time of his youth. He combats the obstacle in life, all while being homeless. The man behind the project is MEA professor Bhavan Karim, who has spent years teaching students how to tell compelling stories, but this time, he's taking his own lessons to heart.
Can I get a cup for water?
Sure. With heavy inspiration of the FX series Atlanta, The Valley is framed through the lens of economic issues that explore the tribulations of being a low-income undergraduate. Student homelessness has been brought up to 4.1% as of the late year and has marked a return to pre-pandemic levels. Professor Karim believes this is an important story to tell due to the lack of media coverage as of late.
It's meant to explore a lot of the values and the issues, the modern social issues that some of the students at this school are experiencing. Specifically, how do I balance my life and my education in the face of constant economic instability?
The film production company Lost Winds Entertainment, known for producing films such as Eileen and Americana, will be producing the show as well as the COC Media Department, making it a hybrid production. Students are welcome to sign up to join the production team to gain early experience in the film industry. The show offers academic and work credit as well as internships. The filming will begin this January 2025. For Canyons News, I'm Victoria Suarez.
COC football finished off their season last weekend by playing in the Jersey Mike's Valencia Bowl. The Cougars hosted the Mount San Jacinto Eagles. Canyons News reporter Eli Kern has more on the bowl game action.
The Eagles opened up the scoring with a touchdown pass. Quarterback Christian Kretz finds Dante Sams to make it 7-0 early. About midway through the second quarter, score 7-3 Eagles, COC quarterback Owen Hawley finds Donovan Dunn leaking out of the backfield for a huge 45-yard touchdown. Dunn's tough yards after the catch made it 10-7 Cougars. COC's next drive would be a one-play special. Hawley throws it up for Joseph Sines, and he only needed one hand. Looking like Garrett Wilson a few weeks back, hits the Jumpman pose mid-air, and just like Mike, that man can fly. Cougars extend their lead to 17-7. Another Luis Rodriguez field goal put COC in control at the half, scores 20-7. But Christian Kretz isn't going down without a fight. Physical run to open up the second half scoring makes it a one-possession game, and things are getting a little chippy. Score is 20-14 early in the third. COC quarterback Luke Coleman would take over for Hawley, who was dealing with a foot injury, and Coleman made his moment count. Finishing off a methodical drive with a touchdown pass to Joseph Sines. That's his second touchdown catch of the day, by the way. The resulting PAT was missed, so that makes it 26-14 Cougars. The Eagles need quick points here, but unfortunately for them, Domata Peko Jr. had other ideas. Big-time player making a big-time play. COC force a fumble and would be able to drain the clock out. A late touchdown from Kretz made it a one-possession game, but the Cougars are able to recover the onside kick attempt, and that's the ball game, folks. COC finishes off an excellent 2024 football season with a bowl victory. Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Eli Kern.
I will never give up. I'll never give up. If I do, if I do, I give up those I give up those I never give up. I never give up. If I do, if I do, I give up those who believe. I give up those who believe. Who next is down? Who next is down? They give up. I give up. I give up. I never give up.
Canyons men's basketball hosted the Long Beach City Vikings last Friday. The Cougars came home after losing 5 straight, while Long Beach City also comes off a loss to Riverside Community College. Christian Sukic rolls the highlight film.
Last Friday night, Canyons men's basketball hosted the Long Beach City Vikings in their 7th game of the regular season. The Cougars came into the contest with a 1-5 record, while Long Beach City holds 1-2. Last Friday's game was the Cougars' first of a 4-game homestand. Halfway through the opening stanza, Long Beach City guard Pacheco Robinson misses a jumper. Chapman and the Cougars collect possession. Perez passes the ball to guard Stacy Webb, who brings down the 3. Cougars lead by 11 with a score of 25-14. By the end of the first half, Vikings guard David Garcia misses the 3-point jumper, and the Cougars come back down the court. Guard John Marco Figueroa passes inside to forward Georges Abdelnour, who makes the layup. Cougars lead 40-25 entering halftime. The second half saw the Cougars come out flying. Garcia for Long Beach misses another jump shot, and the Cougars collect possession. Guard Maurice Pitts connects with Perez, who makes a layup. 40 seconds later, Chapman drops it off to Perez, and he lets it fly. All Long Beach City can do is watch. 51-27 Canyons. 5 and some change left in regulation. A Vikings foul led to Donovan Cornelius making 2 free throws, expanding the lead by 34, which was the largest lead of the night. The Cougars cruise away with the victory with a final score of 99-71, snapping that 5-game losing streak. Justin Perez was Friday night's leading scorer with 25 points. Here's what he and head coach Howard Fisher had to say after the win.
Locker room, we got back to the locker room, it's hyped, we got the energy going. In the first half, we had some great energy from the bench. We had some great shooting, great execution, actually making fixes in the game plan, listening to what Coach Fisher wants us to do, and then just coming out with a win. It was good.
I think we were playing well at home. We've gotten better every game. I'm really proud of our guys, their effort, their focus, their commitment to each other. So hopefully we continue that and continue to grow. I'm really pleased with our progress.
From Lee Smelser Court for Canyons News, I'm Christian Sukic.
One of COC's own is swinging her way to greatness one stroke at a time. Freshman Sayakita Batake brought home the individual state championship for California community colleges. Using hole-in-one, she made her way to the title. On November 18th, Kita Batake finished the 2-day event at 143 on the par 71 course at Monarch Dunes Golf Club. She was the only player from COC to make it to this championship. She concluded the regular season by winning the Western State Conference Player of the Year and leading the Cougars to a 3rd-place conference finish. She is now the 4th individual state champion in COC women's golf program. As the semester comes to an end, so do some sports seasons. COC's cross-country team is finishing strong as they take their final steps of the season. Canyons News reporter Emily Viramontes tells us more.
The path to the state championship meet is always challenging, and this year both the COC men's and women's cross-country teams successfully qualified. This marks the 5th consecutive year the women's team has advanced and the 2nd consecutive year for the men's team.
Very exciting this year to have both teams qualify, which means you are in the top 16 teams in Southern California and earned a qualifying position.
Held on November 23rd, the state meet is the culmination of months of training and is one of the most competitive races in California. The team's bond, motivation, dedication, and endless support have guided them to this opportunity.
This team is very close with each other. They do a lot of activities together. They train really well together. And I think that's what helps when you have a good team bonding. They mesh together. Then the performance tends to be really good.
To be on this team, I feel really grateful because I like being with the girls every day at practice, and it feels good to feel accomplished after practice every day.
The fact that I'm running in college and that we made it to state and we've just been working hard this season just means everything to me.
Thanks to their commitment and hard work, the women's team earned 9th place, while the men's team finished in 23rd.
Walk a lap, full recovery, and we'll start the 2s.
For Canyons News, I'm Emily Viramontes.
And that does it for this edition of Canyons News. I'm Meg Hall. Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, canyonsnews_COC, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.